So onwards from Carmarthenshire, passing through Amroth, I'm now in Pembrokeshire, which is one of the sections I've been most looking forward to. I spent a few hours in Saundersfoot, relaxing on the beach. Then onward to Tenby, where I have an Airbnb booked for a few days. I had a nice few days rest up in Tenby. Now I'm ready to get going again further into Pembrokeshire. So I'm going to be keeping my eye out for dolphins and seals and whales. This part of the coast and around the Cardigan Bay is apparently the best spot for seeing those sort of animals. I'd really like to see some dolphins on this trip. This next area of Wales I've never been to up until Pembroke, and from looking on the map there's not really any big towns there, so I've stocked up pretty well on supplies to get me through till Pembroke, which is quite an industrial area and plenty of shops and stuff there. But yeah, this next bit looks quite wild, which really is my favourite sort of area. This is one of my absolute favourite vegetables here, sea beet, ancestor of spinach and beetroot. You can find this all around the coast, and there's a lot of it as well. Tastes a bit like spinach, but a nicer, more irony flavour, and it doesn't wilt down. I think it's much nicer than spinach, to be honest. So I'll take these nice fresh looking leaves. These flower stems are delicious as well. They're not quite so good like this once the flowers have started to open. But like that, these are great. There we go, some lovely fresh greens for dinner. I'll mostly be cooking this with my dinner, but you can eat it raw as well, just like spinach. Especially the younger ones, like that. Had a pretty good sleep last night. up on the flattest bit of hill I could find, and now having some rock samphire for breakfast. This is rock samphire here. Find it by the sea, above the high tide line. It's got a lovely carroty flavour. So lighter green bits like that you want. Wow, what a morning. Some absolutely incredible views. And the weather's just perfect. I think it's supposed to stay like this for the next week or so, which is good. So I'll be well camping for the next 7 or 8 nights now. I'm coming up to Freshwater East. Might see if I can stop there for a pub lunch and a pint. Yeah, I think that'll do me for the day. I think that was probably the most amazing day of hiking I've ever done in my life. This section here between Tenby and heading up to Barrowfundle Bay is just behind me, so I'll be heading there in the morning. But it's absolutely beautiful, and this looks like a pretty good place to set up camp. So the coast path is down just behind that little hill there, goes up that way. So I just walked up here, got this lovely little flat spot there, which I think I'll set my tent up a bit later, and I can sit here in the evening, watch the sun go down. It's a pretty awesome view. So that's Barrowfundle Bay, just there, I think. So I've had a bit of food, now I think I might make a cup of tea, go and sit just up there and watch the sun set. So I've got my stove and a little tea strainer, and I noticed there's some yarrow growing around here, so pick some of this, make a nice yarrow herbal tea. That's yarrow there, kind of looks like a feather. It's a good medicinal herb. I don't feel ill at all, but it's just good to have medicinal herbs every now and again, just to keep you in good health. That should be enough. Once it's up to a good boil, I'm going to take it off the heat. You don't want to boil the herbs. You want to steep them in hot water, otherwise you're going to kill all the good nutrients. So I'll just leave that to steep for a good 5 to 10 minutes, and that'll be ready. Alright, that should do it. Right, go and sit up there then. Just stop in here a minute to enjoy the view. I'm next to Barafundle Bay, which is beautiful. So this part of the track looks quite remote now, and looking on Google Maps, I don't think I'm going to pass through anywhere like a town or village for a few days. So I just passed through a National Trust site this morning, Stackpole Quay I think it was called. So I filled up on water there. I drank as much as I could, like just over a litre of water, and then filled up my bottle, which is like another 2 litres. So that should do me for a while. But you do have to be a little bit careful if you're through hiking like I am. Places like this you might not be able to get fresh like tap water, so you do need to plan ahead. Of course, normally in Wales it's raining, so you can just collect rainwater, but it looks like it's not going to rain for the next week, which is great. As a very last resort, I can collect groundwater. I've got a filter bottle to get rid of any impurities, and then I've also got some chlorine dioxide tablets to get rid of any other impurities. But it's all farmland around here, so it's going to be agricultural runoff water, which definitely isn't ideal. There are probably like campsites inland that you can get water from if you're desperate, and if you're staying on campsites then that'd be easy enough. But if you're like me and you're just hiking straight through, then just be aware that it might be a bit difficult to get water. I've also got my solar panels out again on my backpack. These have been really good actually, these solar panels. So I've got a battery bank in this case here, which is plugged in, so charging as I walk. I find that gives me like a full day of sun, charges up my battery bank fully quite easily, and that gives me power for a good 4 or 5 days for my phone, because I do all my filming on my phone. And I've also got my head torch, which runs off a USB, so I can charge that as well. So they're a really good idea, I think, these solar panels, if you're through hiking, because it just means you don't need to keep stopping in civilization to charge up your battery bank or your phone. So this is Barafundle Bay. inland diversions from Bosherton up to Castle Martin, because there's MOD sites along the coast there, which are open on weekends and from around 5 o'clock in the evening. But because I was there early, I took the detours. So you're missing out some nice bits of coast there, but the inland detours are well signposted, and there's a few nice walks around lakes there as well. I was nearing Pembroke, and you could see straight away that it's becoming more industrial. I'm not even halfway through the Pembrokeshire coast path yet. I've already seen some amazing views, but according to the guidebooks and some locals, the northern part of the coast path is even more scenic.